Israel's regional foe shows off its homegrown naval weapons just as Iran tensions explode, signaling that Ankara wants to be seen as a frontline military power in the crisis. Erdogan's Atmaca anti-hip missile roars as 8 missiles and a torpedo take to the skies and sea at once for the first time, turning Turkey's drills into a high-visibility show of strength. Does Trump now appear to be siding with a NATO strongman in the Middle East over Bibi, as his warmer tone toward Erdogan contrasts sharply with growing irritation toward Netanyahu? Trump pointedly praises his very good friend Erdogan in the middle of a Turkey-Israel feud, raising fresh questions about whether Washington's loyalties are shifting inside this regional triangle. Turkey showcased 3 indigenous naval weapon systems during the Sea Wolf 2 2026 drills, highlighting its push to field homegrown maritime strike capabilities. The June 11th exercise featured the first simultaneous firing of 8 missiles and a torpedo, demonstrating coordinated saturation attack tactics at sea. All weapons were launched against real decommissioned surface targets in the Gulf of Antalya, providing live-fire proof of performance under realistic conditions. An Atmaca anti-ship missile was fired from the corvette TCG Burgazada and successfully hit a target 102 kilometers away, underlining its operational range and accuracy. The successful strike underscored Turkey's growing self-reliance in naval warfare systems, reducing dependence on foreign suppliers at a time of regional volatility. The drill took place as regional tensions continued to rise over Israel's actions in neighboring countries, giving Ankara's show of force added political weight. Meanwhile, Trump praised Erdogan as a very good friend during Oval Office remarks, signaling a desire to keep ties with Ankara on a positive footing. The U.S. president pointedly avoided criticizing Erdogan despite the Turkish leader's recent threats toward Israel, sidestepping direct confrontation with Ankara. Trump said he would personally speak to Erdogan to ensure no confrontation occurs, casting himself as a mediator between Turkey and Israel. He also declined to answer questions about potential F-35 jet sales to Turkey, leaving Washington's stance on advanced arms transfers deliberately ambiguous. Erdogan had earlier warned that Israel's operations in Syria and Lebanon threatened Turkey, portraying Israeli moves as a direct security concern for Ankara. The Turkish leader said Israel's aggression posed a danger to the entire region, framing his stance as defending broader regional stability. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu fired back by labeling Erdogan an anti-Semitic dictator, sharply escalating the war of words between Jerusalem and Ankara. Trump's warm tone toward Erdogan has fueled speculation of growing friction with Netanyahu, as Washington's messaging toward its 2 regional partners appears increasingly uneven. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan has sharply criticized Israel amid escalating conflicts across the Middle East. A key U.S. and NATO ally has warned that Israel's actions risk further increasing regional instability. In a televised address, Erdogan raised concerns over developments involving Israel, Cyprus, Syria, and Lebanon as regional tensions continue to grow.
Distinguished members of Parliament, dear companions on this journey, unfortunately, crises and wars continue one after another in our region. From Gaza to Lebanon, wherever we turn our attention, we encounter the cries of the oppressed that tear at our hearts. Since the day it was established, Israel has continuously functioned as a force threatening peace, stability, prosperity, and security in our region. The occupation of Palestine and the genocide against Palestinians continue systematically. Look in Gaza, before the eyes of the entire world, 73,000 innocent people have been killed. This atrocity continues both in terms of the killings themselves and in terms of the inhumane isolation imposed on the population. The genocide continues. Having carried out what he calls the bloodiest genocide in human history, Israel also attacked Iran. Not content with that, it simultaneously began occupying Lebanon. Despite the reactions of regional countries, especially Turkey, Israel refuses to withdraw from Lebanon and continues its military operations there. Since October 2024, the number of people killed in Lebanon has reportedly reached 3,700, while the number wounded has reached 11,400. At the same time, Israel is said to be engaging in covert efforts to destabilize African countries and the Mediterranean region. The Zionist administration has become, in his words, a source of constant unrest and provocation across a wide geographical area. Unfortunately, the world has not shown the necessary reaction to Israel's policies disregarding rules, law, principles, values, and boundaries. Under its current government, Israel has become increasingly emboldened. It has become not only a threat to the region, but a threat to humanity itself. Israel, Syria, Lebanon, and Turkey. The attacks carried out by Netanyahu and his government against Syria and Lebanon have reached a point where they threaten not only those two brotherly countries, but also Turkey. I want everyone to understand this clearly. Syria and Lebanon are independent and sovereign states, but these two states are also part of Turkey's geography of affection and brotherhood. Damascus and Beirut are sister cities of Istanbul. Turkey's security does not begin only at Hatay. Turkey's security begins in Aleppo. It begins in Damascus. Turkey's security begins in Beirut. We will not tolerate any fait accompli in the countries of our brothers and sisters. We will not turn a blind eye to any attack against them. Now some people and those who encourage them come forward and issue threats against Turkey from various places. There is no need for you to say these things. We already know your intentions. We know very well what objectives you are pursuing. We are fully aware of the ultimate goal behind what he calls the Greater Israel vision. God willing, we will never allow it. We now see attempts to ignite a new fire of discord in the Mediterranean, particularly on the island of Cyprus. We are following developments very closely. Certain small actors, whose ambitions greatly exceed their actual capabilities, have boarded what he describes as Israel's boat of provocation. They have undertaken the role of subcontractors for Zionism. They are pursuing unrealistic dreams in the Eastern Mediterranean. Let me state this very clearly. No one should go looking for adventures. No one should attach themselves to the Zionist machinery of massacres. If Turkey's rights and the rights of Turkish Cypriots in the Eastern Mediterranean are challenged, then let it be known that our response will be very clear, and it will be very firm. Dear friends, Israel is taking advantage of the silence of the international community and is preventing our region from achieving comprehensive peace, stability, and security. Bringing Israel back within the boundaries of international law is now not merely the concern of certain countries. It has become a common issue for all humanity. The attacks against Iran and Lebanon have produced negative effects not only on regional countries, but also on a global scale. Therefore, Israel's aggressive posture represents a threat not only to our region, but to humanity as a whole. 85 years ago, silence and inaction in the face of Hitler resulted in the deaths of 80 million people around the world. All humanity paid the price for the madness of a single tyrant. Today, the same mistake is being repeated. The actions of Netanyahu and his cabinet in Gaza are, he argues, being watched with the same silence and lack of reaction that once greeted Hitler. No one should forget that when a fire grows large enough, it does not merely burn the region where it starts. Its sparks spread everywhere.